Alright guys, we are going to be reacting to Cologne Cathedral's epic build, 632 years of Gothic Grandeur. I think that's how you say that. Thank you so much for support, guys. I mean, I've been out for quite a bit. A lot of stuff going on here. I was not here doing videos. I was in New York and, you know, I couldn't do a lot of videos. So, but we're back. We're back. We're going to react to a lot of things. A lot of stuff has happened in Germany in the last couple of days, especially yesterday. I mean, 2 days ago. It was tragedy that happened a couple of days ago where a guy just ran through a crowd, and that's actually very sad. That is very sad. But we're gonna react to this, guys. Again, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and jump in.
Cologne Cathedral took over 6 centuries to complete? You're about to discover the incredible construction story behind one of the world's most awe-inspiring Gothic masterpieces. From its groundbreaking in 1248 through war and restoration, to a supposed pact with the devil and its abrupt halt that lasted 400 years. What drove generations of builders to persist in this monumental task? Discover the architectural marvels like the soaring spires and the Shrine of the Three Kings, and the legends that have intrigued generations. Why did builders spend centuries completing the Cologne Cathedral? It's time to find out. Our journey started long before the iconic Gothic structure of the Cologne Cathedral began to take shape. Cologne, as a location, has a rich history stretching back to Roman times. Initially founded as a Roman colony in the 1st century AD, Cologne, or Colonia Claudia Ara Agrippinensium, was a significant urban centre in Roman Germania. Now, fast forward to the year 795 AD. Imagine Cologne under the rule of a king named Charlemagne, who was so important he'd later be crowned an emperor. Charlemagne decided that Cologne needed a new church, so he had a big, beautiful Romanesque cathedral built right on top of an old baptistry. This wasn't as huge as the cathedral we know today, but it was still pretty impressive, stretching nearly as long as a soccer field. This marked a big step up in the city's religious status and set the stage for even bigger things to come. And here's where things get really interesting. After Charlemagne's era, a truly special treasure found its way to Cologne, putting the city on the medieval map. We're talking about the relics of the 3 wise men, the very same guys from the Christmas story who followed the star to visit baby Jesus. This treasure not only boosted Cologne's spiritual significance, but also its popularity, as pilgrims from all around started flocking to see the relics. But there was a problem. The old Cologne Cathedral just couldn't handle the overwhelming number of visitors anymore. So the leaders decided it was time for something bigger and better. On August 15, 1248, Archbishop Conrad von Hochstaden took the lead and laid the foundation stone for what would become the iconic Gothic cathedral we see today. Now, building this cathedral wasn't a quick job, not by a long shot. It took a whopping 632
It took so many years, like more than 600 years
to
so.
complete. They divided the construction into stages, with master mason Gerhard kicking things off. Inspired by French Gothic architecture, Gerhard started with the essentials. The nave, choir, aisles, and the southwest tower were all part of the first phase. By 1265, they'd finished enough of the choir and aisles to start holding services. But it took until around 1300 for most of the choir to be completed. After years of hard work, and yes, probably a few tears, they finally consecrated the cathedral on September 27, 1322. Now, building the cathedral was already a massive challenge that took centuries. But what if I told you the construction of the Cologne Cathedral involves a deal with the devil himself? Legend has it, as the challenges of building the cathedral grew, so did the desperation of its architects. The most chilling of these stories centers around Gerhard of Riehl, the first master mason tasked with this monumental project. One evening, beside the misty banks of the Rhine, Gerhard encountered a stranger with a sinister air about him. This was no ordinary man, but the devil, offering a deal fraught with peril. The devil presented Gerhard with a plan that promised to make the Cologne Cathedral the envy of Christendom. The catch? Gerhard had to deliver the cathedral within 3 years or forfeit the souls of his entire family. Desperate to meet this impossible deadline, Gerhard agreed. As the deadline got closer, Gerhard's wife figured out about the scary deal. She came up with a smart trick. She got the roosters to crow earlier than usual, making the devil think he had lost because he thought it was already dawn. Fooled and furious, the devil wrecked what he could and put a curse on the cathedral, saying that if it ever got finished, it would bring disaster. Once you hear about all the challenges the builders faced, this story almost makes sense. While the devilish legends add a layer of mystery, it was more earthly troubles that brought the cathedral's construction to a sudden halt. In 1473, just as the South Tower was nearing completion and the cathedral stood proudly against the skyline, everything stopped. At the time, the cathedral, nearly 90% complete, ground to a halt due to a lack of funds and a waning interest in Gothic architecture. While some sporadic work continued on the nave between the west front and the eastern arm, progress was slow. By the 16th century, even this intermittent effort was brought to a pause, leaving the cathedral's fate hanging in the balance. For centuries, this grand structure sat unfinished, its fate uncertain. It even served as a stable and hay barn during the tumultuous days of the French Revolution in the 1790s. The Cologne Cathedral, with all its grandeur and ambition, waited patiently for the day it could finally be completed. Eventually, in 1823, a hero emerged in the form of Sulpice Boisseri, a champion of the Gothic revival movement. Inspired by his vision, restoration work kicks off with a new cornerstone laid by King Frederick William IV of Prussia in 1842. Under the guidance of architects Richard Voitel and Ernst Friedrich Werner, the cathedral rose from its slumber, following the original 14th century.
Oh, look at those details, man. Even the people that were drawing this, look at those details. Wow.
Plans, but with a modern twist. By 1880, the Cologne Cathedral was finally finished after hundreds of years of hard work. It stood tall and proud, exactly as the medieval builders had dreamed. But the cathedral's story didn't end there. Fast forward to World War II. When American soldiers got to Cologne in March 1945, they found a city almost totally destroyed by bombs.
Wow.
But guess what? The cathedral was still standing strong.
That's crazy.
It was like something out of a movie, with tanks rolling through the streets and the old cathedral in the background, still intact despite being hit by 14 bombs.
Wow.
Right after the war in Europe, a special group called the Monuments Men sprang into action to safeguard precious cultural treasures. Among their tasks was to gather materials for urgent repairs to Cologne Cathedral and other vital monuments. Archbishop Hannon, who doubled as a chaplain and a daring member of the Monuments Men, earned deep respect for his efforts. He remained a cherished figure at Cologne Cathedral for the rest of his days. Thanks to these guys, the cathedral is still here for us to see and visit. Today, the cathedral stands tall as an architectural and historical marvel. Architecturally, the cathedral showcases the graceful, rayonnant Gothic style, with hints of the ornate flamboyant Gothic design thrown in. Stretching 144.5 metres in length and 84 metres, the cathedral boasts an impressive 10,000 square metres of stained glass art. That's nearly 3 times more than Chartres Cathedral. Among the cathedral's most talked about stained glass
cannot believe, man. I cannot believe that you have almost castles as churches. And Germans don't go to church that often. That's weird, man. That is something weird. I mean, do you guys see any signs that maybe Germans might go back to Christianity, or you guys see the opposite, or whatever is left? Let me know in the comment section below.
Window designed by the modern German artist Gerhard Richter. Spanning an impressive 113 square meters, it's a sight to behold. Richter took a unique approach when making it, which caused a controversy. He used 11,500 identically sized pieces of coloured glass, arranged randomly by a computer. This avant-garde design didn't sit well with everyone, especially Cardinal Joachim Meisner, the Archbishop of the cathedral. He felt that such a significant space deserved a more traditional, figurative depiction, perhaps honouring 20th century Catholic martyrs. In any case, the Rayonnance Gothic art swiftly gained popularity beyond France, finding a home in bustling commercial hubs. Cologne, much like Strasbourg, emerged as a critical centre for Rayonnance Gothic, blending influences from afar. This fusion is so seamless that, unlike many German structures of its time, Cologne Cathedral shows little trace of traditional Germanic styles. Shaped like a Latin cross, the cathedral features 2 aisles on each side, a nod to Paris or Bourges cathedrals. These support soaring Gothic vaults, nearly rivaling the height of the Beauvais Cathedral, which famously collapsed in 1284.
Wow.
While echoing the design of the Amiens Cathedral, Cologne Cathedral adds its unique flair, making it a masterpiece of Gothic architecture. Among its most amazing architectural designs are its 2 huge spires, roughly 157 meters or 515 feet tall. These are the second tallest after Ulm Minster, giving it a massive appearance compared to many other cathedrals. The building was briefly considered the tallest building in the world before being surpassed by the Washington Monument. At the heart of Cologne Cathedral lies its crowning jewel, the Shrine of the Three Kings, crafted in 1191. This magnificent piece, resembling a grand basilican church,
and this is gold. I guess this is all gold.
Stands behind the
all
altar
this right here,
and commands
gold.
attention. It was the brainchild of Philip von Heinsberg, Archbishop of Cologne, and brought to life by the skilled hands of Nicholas of Verdun. This shrine isn't just a work of art, it's a showcase of true medieval craftsmanship and Romanesque sculpture, rightly considered one of the largest reliquaries in the Western world. Today, visitors and pilgrims from all over the world look upon the majestic spires and intricate stained glass of the Cologne Cathedral, amazed not just by the sheer human determination that went into making it, but also by the resilience of the cathedral itself. From the daring pact struck with the devil to the valiant efforts of the monument's men to preserve its sacred art, this cathedral has weathered the storms of history with grace.
Beautiful, man. I mean, this cathedral is gorgeous. I wonder you can get service. Yeah, you can do service there, but I wonder if I always wonder why Germans don't go to church that often with something like that just close by. Like, it's one of those mysteries, right? You get used to good things, I guess, and you get used to that. I think Germany is almost like an atheist country, right? Like, it's more like an atheist country rather than a Christian country. Maybe that's the reason. Let me know what you guys think, guys, in the comment section below. See you in the next one.